I know that as you should be, you're very particular about the projects that you choose to do, TV, all of that.
Yeah, I suppose I mean, there's particular in a sort of way when you're like Angelina Jolie and the script's come in, you're like, well, I love the script. And then there's particular when you are sometimes a lot of the time out of work and you're like, well, how much? Um, but I think you do get to a certain point where when you sign up to a show, you don't sign up to it for a few months, you sign up to it for a couple of years. And you look at your life and going, what sort of work environment would I like to be in? What sort of roles would I actually like to, if this goes and goes for years, would I be able to stand playing this person? So that starts to come in a little bit more, but I think that's a privilege you get having worked. And I think I was in a lucky position of being sort of in a place where I'd had a bit of work and I could look at something and go, oh yeah, no, I would move to New York for this. I would change my life for this project.
Especially because episode 5 is where Kate really takes the forefront, and you start seeing her story more than ever. So tell me a little bit about why that episode was so important to you.
It was so important to me because I am bored to death, and in a lot of my stand-up I go into this as well, about seeing a certain view of women and all of the people in my life and I love who I don't get to see on screen, and it's so incredibly boring. So if I'm to talk about that in stand-up, why would I then go out and play like, honey, are you going through a bad time? Oh, what a schmuck. If only he'd change his ways, I'd be happy. I'm perfect. That's boring, and that's not any of my friends or your sisters or you or any of us. So, and that the fact that Tim didn't have to be asked to write that episode. He'd written this whole show and had a whole episode dedicated to seeing everything from her point of view. I was saying earlier on, it's boringly refreshing. It shouldn't be so refreshing as it is, and it was. And you know, Paul's got a very dynamic wife who's a writer and a creator in her own right. Tim Greenberg, who's a writer, has an amazing wife, Danny. And I don't think either of them wanted to see a couple on screen and just see themselves and not see anything from their point of view as well. It'd be a disservice to their partners. So that was a big part of it. Episode 5 is genuinely the reason I signed up to this show. And audition, because I didn't want to audition for something I didn't like and then would have to do it. They sent me that episode. I'm like, oh yes, okay, please. And I got really excited about it. I'm like, oh no, now I have to try and get it. So yeah.
Well, I don't want to give anything away, but I do have to mention an epic dance scene that does take place in the series. Can you tell me a little bit about practicing, choreographing? Like, were you guys breaking into laughter? What happened?
Oh, I mean, no, we took it very seriously. I expect after this for us to go straight onto Dancing with the Stars, both of us being the professional partners, not the celebs in it. We worked really hard on that. Jenny Shore was a choreographer, and Jenny is a choreographer in her own right, but is married to Will Butler from the Arcade Fire, and they did a YouTube video, the Arcade Fire. They did a YouTube video of the two of them dancing together, and they're a married couple, and they were so in sync with each other, and it was so odd but unique to them. And Val and John saw that online, and then we want her to choreograph this. So she sort of walked us through choreographing, but also helping us come up with stuff for the dance. So it felt like it came from them, like Kate and Miles as a couple. And the pat a cake in it is a move that Paul's little daughter does. So that kind of little move in the dance is Paul's daughter's dance. So there's bits of us throughout it, and it took ages to come up with the music, but I love that it's actually a Rick James song, because in Little Miss Sunshine, Val and John, who directed this, their opus in many ways, that song is a Rick James song. So this is a little bit of a nod to their other work by using a Rick James song here as well.